was interesting. We got that pushback.
Yeah, it was, 'cause I
But
didn't.
we're not reimbursing this. This is a full meal.
Yeah,
We said refreshments. So I'm like, what?
yeah, so that's what
It
happened.
was never a problem before.
Right, so, but everyone who has, spent money on meals, including you, Chris, will get reimbursed, and hopefully, we have convinced them that we can have full meals. Because we have not. We have not, oh, okay.
Michael had his hand up.
Michael.
His hand went back down.
Okay, wait.
Laura.
Yeah, so Laura has more.
I was only questioning the timeliness of the check reimbursement.
Should be there in like a week, because she approved it finally.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, I feel like everyone should be caught up, I don't remember who, I did September, Michael did. So, yes, I think who did November?
Laura.
Laura?
No, I did December, but
She
I,
did December.
but I,
And I did
Dennis.
October.
Yes, so I'm missing one person, so if I'll email him to get his receipts, but everyone should be in a good space now, so that's kind of the back and forth that we've been having, but,
right, so part of what I am saying to the clerk, is that we should have a meaning the UNC's finance officers with the clerk funding team, including the boss, because it's really the language in the funding program that's a bit of a problem, because it essentially is saying the only purpose for food is outreach. And I wrote back and said, no, the purpose of food is nutrition. It is for board members across the city who are doing evening meetings, and if they're working people, they don't have time to go home, eat dinner, then come to a meeting, and eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night is unhealthy. And it doesn't have to be hugely expansive, but it needs to be a salad or something like that, that for people who have special dietary needs, a deconstructed salad, so if they can't have meat, they can't have crouton, anything like that, and something else. I mean, in other words, within our budget means, but not to be rude to not just board members, but at any given meeting, committee chairs, government officials, applicants for funding, applicants on land use matters, just anyone who needs to be here. It's just rude to think that that's not the purpose of the food. So let's update the section and maybe be more specific about what's okay and what's not okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move on. Go ahead, Candace.
Okay, so,
Quick question. Chris speaking. Do we know the extent to which this kind of spending for food is consistent across neighborhood councils?
No.
I don't know, I at least know it's a $200 limit, but.
We put that, we assigned
Yeah, that's
that.
what
That is our, and I'd like to make a point, let's all try to stay within that, because we have exceeded that recently. That, our monthly, allowance is $200 for refreshments.
Do the other 98
98.
So-
councils spend $200 a month on this?
We don't have.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually had a meeting with the funding team, so it wasn't just this neighborhood council, but they're going across all 99 and seeing what food they're buying. And again, they're saying the same thing that you just mentioned, paper foods, snacks, and it's for outreach efforts. And the way they explained it is, like myself as a city employee, I wouldn't be able to get reimbursed for my lunch, right? And that's what the reason.
Right.
Can you comment on how the spending is spread across neighborhood councils in general?
So they're going across all neighborhood councils, making sure that they're not.
I mean, typical spending.
Yeah, like we have a
So-
limit of 200. Do you know what the other?
And for folks to see.
It just depends, some don't spend any money, some just buy pizza, wings, snacks, some only buy donuts. It's varied across every neighborhood council,
So 0 to 200.
yeah.
Raised hand.
Oh.
I'd like to ask a question. The neighborhood council, we have 20 plus members. Are we average in terms of number of participants? Because the amount of food that's purchased is based on how many people are being fed.
So I had neighborhood councils where, there's neighborhood councils that only have, 8 people, and there's some that have 30, right? It
Right,
varies.
so my point is this, if you have a neighborhood council of 8 people, then a budget of $200 per meeting may be excessive. The budget that we have of $200 is based on, if you will, pre-pandemic pricing. And I think we all understand that since the pandemic, food prices have increased 30 to 40%. And I think we should consider that for our weekly or monthly budget at this time. Because as someone just said earlier, we're having trouble staying within that budget number.
We don't wanna keep, going on and on. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be short. Michael, I think what the discussion is not the dollar amount, but the type of food that we're purchasing.
That's the discussion.
So if we want to spend $200 on pizza because it's hand food or something that we can eat with our hands, that's fine. But when we purchase a meal, that changes the approval process.
Yes.
I understand that, it changes the dynamic, but
You can't have like, they said, not like chicken and 2 sides, so you can build your own, but it's a dinner.
You cannot have a dinner.
We can't have dinners, is what they're saying, but I guess Laura and Paula are trying to advocate that for us to have that.
Well, have a little more leeway, like be
Yes, a
able to
little
have
more
a
leeway.
salad, even if then we also have wings. You know,
Okay.
something healthy.
Yeah, what is the big deal?
Yeah, so yeah, so that's
You brought it
been,
up.
yeah, so that's been,
Something happened.
Are we still on Candace?
yes, so, right, so
I need,
yes,
I
so
need to
yes.
pull that back up and we
Right.
have to vote on it.
So I'll wrap it up, so, most of what we'll see on our MERV for December will be, catching up, and Zowinkle, catching up of, reimbursements for food, refreshments, I call them refreshments now, and that's helped, because they improve some. And then our usual public storage expense, and that is our MERV for December. So I move to accept the MERV for December 2023. I move to.
She made the motion.
Wait, did I say?
You said accept.
Oh, okay, I move to approve the, MERV from December of 2023.
Grace seconded. And, all in agreement?
No, we need to be.
Oh, you gotta do, oh, that's right, cause this is.
Yeah, 'cause I-
Gotta do
I'm
this.
Dolores,
Present. Are you?
Hunter,
Aye.
Candace,
Aye.
Laura,
Yes,
Sho, aye. Michael,
non-voting, oh,
sorry, Edward, I am a yes. Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Chris,
Abstain.
Are you abstaining or are you in?
whichever, whatever, you know.
okay, Christopher,
Yes.
Marco? Okay, thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, and one more thing.
We have a hand.
Okay, sorry.
Who has their hand up?
Vote,
Boateng.
at least 20 people.
You're on
oh,
mute.
unmute yourself.
You're muted.
Hi everyone, I'm Boateng. Nice to meet
Hi.
you. First neighborhood council, so learning a lot. I just had a question about the budget. I'm curious, like, does the neighborhood council, does the neighborhood,
I got it.
no worries. Does the neighborhood council like provide like an overview of like a quarterly plan or just like a, hey, these are the things we plan to spend on throughout the year? Or is it, like, do you guys just decide that like the month before? Like, I'm just curious how that is made.
So I can answer that question, I'm excited. So, we have, every year we make a master budget and there's 3 major areas where we could spend money on. And outreach is like office is like our administrative stuff. Outreach is like events and things that we give to organizations. And then elections is just the money that elections is the money that we spend on election year. And then we also give money for community improvement projects and also neighborhood purpose grants for organizations in the neighborhood that have events or projects that we can help out with. So every year we get like 32-ish, it depending on what the rollover is, but that's our budget for the year. And fairly soon, we'll start the process of thinking about how we want to spend the money for the next fiscal year. And there's a large packet that we have to turn in that basically tells the city, this is how we're allotting our money to spend for the year.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Is there a way to see what has been allocated for this year?
I have it.
It's online.
It's online. You could
Okay.
see.
Where do you see it? At the clerk? Okay.
Well, you know what? We're gonna find out.
We'll
We're gonna
find
put
out
it
and
in the
get back
chat. We'll put it in the chat for you.
Yes.
Okay.
But yes, it's public knowledge, so any neighborhood council budget and the way that the money is split up, you
It's
can
in
see
the
that.
clerk's website. It's the same one we log into, but it's also public.
Okay, Candace?
Hold on, I do have one more thing.
Yes.
We have to move to reimburse Chris. We have to reimburse Chris
Chris, for tonight's.
for
refreshment.
tonight's meal.
Okay.
So,
Refreshment.
I'm sorry, refreshment. So I move that, Chris, what's your name?
Carlson.
Okay, so I move that we reimburse Chris Carlton $134.14
Wow.
for tonight's refreshment.
I second. That notice.
Yeah, this one.
That was really good, Chris. You're gonna get off.
I will, Chris speaking, I'd like to make sure everybody knows that our refreshments tonight came from KK's, a family, long time business here right in CD10. They are on Western, just opposite Food for Less. And they have, they've been in this area for, I think, 35.
No, the whole time I've lived here,
40
plus.
47 years, yeah. And it's a family-owned, multi-generational business, and everything's fresh, made on
Yeah,
farm.
finding out.
Lots of vegetables, very nutritious.
That you can hold in your hand.
Okay, commercial done,
We do have to do roll for this one.
for.
Yeah.
Chris, okay. What was it again, 100 and?
134.14.
Yep.
Okay.
She's under budget.
Yeah, really.
Dolores,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Candace,
Yes?
Laura,
Yes.
Sho,
Yes, Lord.
Michael Soderstrom,
Yeah, she picks her teeth.
Edward,
I'm just teasing.
Paula,
Yes.
I'm a yes. Grace,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Christopher,
Yeah.
Christopher, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Margot. I got it.
it.
I'm good. Thank you, motion passes.
Moving on to the secretary's report.
So this is just the minutes from last month.
Did you see what happened to the arrow became a triple?
I don't know what you're talking about, so.
I'll show you.
Yeah, moving it along.
All right, we had the roll call, review and approval agenda, public comments. We celebrated Greg last month. We had government agencies reporting. We had executive committee reports. We had some funding requests last month. Committee reports. And you adjourned. What's the idea, Mary?
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from last month.
I'll second.
Hunter seconds.
If we can vote by acclamation. You agree, please raise your hand.
VP report.
Yep, I'm pulling something up.
Briefly.
Yes. I don't have attendance in front of me, although it's pretty good, not perfect. And we were having a little issues with Zoom versus in person. On the training, the cornerstone training for our two newest board members was sent out with passwords that didn't work. So we're having a lot of issues with the administration of Cornerstone. And so we have some ongoing issues with board members, along with the two new ones, ongoing issues with board members completing their training, but not being booted out of the system before they get their certificates. So we have not resolved it. We've been trying to get it resolved. And then the thing I'm trying to
We have a
do.
question. Yeah, I have a question too. Alfonso, can you please give us an update on the status of board members who are ineligible to vote?
Due to the department because of training,
Yeah.
because,
So I did get an update from our admin team, for the two new board members, they were sent their cornerstone.
yes.
They didn't work.
Please let me.
If it doesn't work, they can contact the admin team at NC support at empowerla.org, and they would assist them, right?
And is that information in the email?
The email is very detailed. It's about 5 or 6 paragraphs, and includes their login and instructions. So the instructions do say that you're supposed to use Chrome. Apparently, Cornerstone only works well with Chrome. If you use Firefox, Safari, or any other web browser, that's when it starts to have issues. So that's something important. That's something that the board members can try as well. It is recommended for them to use like a large screen, an iPad, or an actual like laptop. A lot of issues happen when people use their cell phones. And I do understand that there's some communities where they can only access the web through their cell phones. So that's something that the department is trying to address. But Cornerstone it's a platform that hosts the trainings. So the issue isn't really Cornerstone, it's actually the trainings. And the trainings are created by vendors and issues like that, if that makes sense.
Okay, so if I could just ask the two board members who are having problems with Cornerstone, if you can look in there and reach out to the admin, and then if they are unable to help you, then reach out directly to Alfonso to.
No,
make sure.
reach out to me,
Oh,
and then
okay,
we'll together go to it.
okay.
So can I ask the board members, what's the issue, that you didn't receive anything?
I received it, I tried to log in a week ago, and I completely forgot to reach out. I reached out today. I'll see if I get a response.
Did you try the temporary password that comes with it?
Yeah, that's, it gives me incorrect credentials. Like for a correct password.
Were you using Safari?
Hold on,
Oh, you're
on my computer, on my Mac.
Okay, so yeah, reach out to because they have to reset your password.
Yeah.
If you don't, it has a time limit sometimes. So when it's very creative, so just reach out to the NC support system and they'll guide you.
So,
Who's the other person, Marco and who?
Oh, Betty. And,
Betty's
and,
it.
and they posted, well, actually it's Anderson. We do.
Okay.
Last name Anderson. No, we got it correct in the roster. But they posted Betty, so the other issue is that the system's not updating properly either, because they posted Betty from her 2014 training. So she's up there, but with all the old expired trainings. And then Grace did code of conduct on Monday, and supposedly the system updates Mondays and Fridays, but it's not updated. And
Which is why I took the certificate and sent you it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
right, so I'm just saying, I mean, there's so many issues. Yes, Dolores.
I want to know if our long-standing board members' issue has been resolved.
No.
And where are we? Have we taken it to the Board of Commissioners? Because this is ridiculous.
Okay.
This problem has been going on with
So,
her for months.
I think it would be just fine for us to do a motion very quickly tonight to authorize Paula, as our representative, we're the executive committee, to reach out via letter or testimony at a meeting regarding this issue. We haven't done that, but I think it'd be fun to do a motion right now on that.
I don't know why we need a motion. Why wasn't that already done? I know Paula reached out to Donna already.
No, she's saying to the Board of Commissioners, because we're not authorized.
We don't need approval to show up. We just show up and say, excuse me, we do not need approval to do that.
But we can do a community impact statement and then get
And it
5
does get
minutes.
attention.
And it gets attention.
That takes too long.
It does.
All right.
I think we need to contact them directly.
Okay.
So your board of commissioner is Joy Atkinson, you can reach out to her.
Oh, yes, I met her.
Yeah, you can also attend one of the meetings, you can put a comment,
Okay,
you can make a comment right there and then.
Okay.
You can post them at City Hall.
okay, all right, I'm gonna follow up on that.
All right,
All right, we're moving on.
we're still on me.
Okay,
I'm trying. I've got it up on the screen, I believe. There is a new code of conduct. We don't have to go through all of it. Just saying, there is a new code of conduct. It's in our agenda packet. I've got it up on the screen, but you'll see that, starting with policy number this, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. And then an attachment. The point is, there's a new code of conduct.
issued by,
Well, that will be put into Cornerstone, and all of us who've taken on time or not on time, the code of conduct training, it won't matter. We have to do it again.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Alfonso, can you tell us, when will this be effective? When will we have to, be notified of that? When will we notify?
well, we haven't even gotten any notification.
So once it's uploaded, because it's gonna be, code of conduct is gonna include, anti-bias training, gender identity training as well now.
Well, we've taken everybody in this room has taken antibiotics.
Yeah,
We have
so,
no issue with that.
You know,
yeah, so gender identity is a new section in code of conduct.
Wow.
But it should be available, I would say, around March till April.
Right.
So right now, we're not going through code of conduct and seeing who's completed it or not. As a department, we're not signing suspension notice, because we do know, we realize that you're gonna have to take this training again in 2 or 3 months. Once that is rolled out, I know Laura, you mentioned if.
Right,
if you
well.
can have a paper copy and sign it.
See, look, you guys actually provided a paper copy to sign. Look at that. That's the bottom of it, but our committee chairs would have to do it this way, right? Print it out, read it, sign it?
So they would have to go through,
I know that.
Cornerstone.
Are they making city council go through all this stuff?
They go, as an employee, I go through all this stuff too.
No, it's not even.
I say city council.
They have to go through it too.
So you're saying it will have to be in Cornerstone?
Yes, it's gonna have to be.
Okay.
We only have one person who's not Laura, so let's not start making rules and policy based on the exception.
What?
it's not making a rule, he said you have to go through
No,
Cornerstone.
she said,
That's what I
we
said.
have chair people who are not board members. And if that's the case, they can't go through Cornerstone.
And there's at least 3,
Who
but
are the
Oh,
three chair
our-
people?
John Tori, Tori,
Our code.
and Elizabeth. And we don't know who's chairing, but at least 3 at the
So what do
moment.
we do in that case? We have people from the community that are chairs.
And so when you update the rosters, there is a section there that says committee members,
Mm-hmm.
planning and land use, that's the section that's there, is when I give out the template. So you would have to then add their names and their contact info, and then they'll get access to Cornerstone.
So even they will have to.
Yeah.
All chairs will have to, okay. Laura, anything else?
No.
Okay, so we are continuing to move on. Ed has a question.
Who is responsible for Cornerstone? I mean, the administration or the efficiency or who's monitoring them? I mean, something is wrong.
So who's watching over them? Are they watching over us?
Cornerstone, it's an independent contractor, right? It's a contractor. It's like Google, they just.
Besides the next.
What I'm saying, what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
because somebody.
Do you wanna be
They
letting
take responsibility for the.
or should I just go through and you just say?
Again, I'm not an IT person. And this is a question for someone else, right? Like, if they're, when you're doing projects and stuff like
Thank you.
that, that's decisions they're made.
Okay, so who could we, who doesn't tell who?
You can reach to the general manager and explain all the issues that you're having, right? You can reach out to the.
Serrano?
Yeah, Mrs. Serrano.
Okay,
You can reach out to the board of commissioners as well.
okay.
And just,
All right, we're not gonna keep going over this. Our next, we have a presentation from Shoping on adult wellness. You have 10 minutes.
Hello, everybody. I'm handing out some, items for you. Hope everyone had a great new year. I am Show King. I have a project called Hope for Hip Hop Education Project. I'm gonna go over, some little bit of information with you all regarding, some wellness, long-term wellness, lifelong wellness. Everyone got it?
How do I read
This
this?
one?
Where am I missing?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably right up under there.
All right.
Is that what you want?
Everyone have
I
that?
wanna get more of it onto the screen.
Yes,
So like maybe down to 75%.
I think I have just enough. Just enough. Okay. Cool beans. So you can go to the first page. Hope for Hip Hop Education Project is a cross-generational educational platform by which the culture of hip hop and all of its principles, philosophies, and disciplines are taught, learned, lived, expressed through artistic elements for peace, love, unity, and safely having fun. Hip hop has a global impact. It is worldwide. One of the most popular and most influential cultures in the world. As such, hip hop's influence spans throughout over 200 countries, including islands. So in essence, hip hop is popular culture. I have a trivia question for most. What hip hop element is the newest sport that has been added to this year's 2024 Summer Olympics?
Okay.
Breakdancing? Glad you have the agendas, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure you didn't know that prior.
Okay, are we on the right, am I on the right page for you?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
You go to the next page, the answer's on the next page. And everyone has- It's breaking. Little known fact. It is breaking. That is one of the four core elements of hip hop culture. Now let's go over to the LA Foundation's information. It's formerly known until June 2007 as the Immature Athletic Foundation, a private nonprofit institution created by the LA Olympic Organizing Committee. It was created to manage SoCal's endowment from the 1984 Olympic Games. Under that agreement, made in 1979, 40% of any surplus was to stay in Southern California. That total surplus, $232.5 million, and our share here was approximately $93 million. Couple quotes. LA 84 Foundation makes grants to nonprofit and sports organizations throughout SoCal. Another quote is the LA 84 Foundation levels the playing field to ensure that all youth have access and opportunity regardless of income, gender, ability, while elevating youth sports as an integral pathway to lifelong well-being. By a show of hands, did anyone grow up in Los Angeles? By a show of hands, did anyone do youth sports? And by another show of hands, did anyone do any youth sports as it pertains to LA 84 endowment?
I have a question.
Yes.
Were they the ones who did the pool at the Coliseum?
Yes.
Yes.
If so, then yes.
Yes. Okay, so we got at least one in the house. Now, dare I ask, was anyone born in 1984?
Oh, before or after?
1984. Directly 1984. There's a point to my question.
Okay, let's get.
And we're gonna go ahead and get to the case study example.
And one moment, Tiffany, we'll call on you after the presentation. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. An example, I'm an LA native, born in '84, becoming a youth born to benefit from the scope of LA '84 Foundation's mission in their effort to promote lifelong well-being. I grew up in LA playing sports, basketball, breaking, track and field, and football. My goal was to attend UCLA or USC on an athletic scholarship to play sports in the hopes of playing in a professional sports league someday. That is, of course, if I grew up as a boy playing sports. Not many lady professional sports or co-ed sports teams are available for girls in SoCal. I still reside in LA and I'm now raising my children locally. My children are set to now benefit from the Endowment for Sports managed by LA '84 Foundation. The challenge, I live in a food desert across from 2 liquor stores and 3 fast food restaurants in a community nearby pollutants from factories. There's only 1 park nearby and it is without any public exercise machine. There are many nearby sports teams for my kids, however, no sports teams or leagues for me to play that fit into my budget. Did a Google search, found no sports teams or leagues in LA for adults after I turned 18 years old in the year 2002. This further displaces me as an athlete and subjects me to numerous ways wellness injustices show up in my community, i.e. food deserts, traumas, health issues, and other environmental disparities that hinder my overall lifelong well-being. I'm overweight, diabetic, and living in danger of having a heart attack due to a high cholesterol diet. I am also now subjected to raising my children in these same exact conditions. Question, will LA 2028 Summer Olympics game bring SoCal anything different for our lifelong well-being in the near or distant future? And what if LA '84 was truly all-inclusive, regardless of age, identity, heritage, culture, gender, family lineage, ability, or political stance? Let's replace the word youth with all. The LA '84 Foundation levels the playing field to ensure all have access to opportunity regardless of income, gender, or ability, while elevating all sports as an integral pathway to lifelong well-being. What would that be? What could that look like? Now, first of all, continued lifelong wellness starts with, at minimum, a plan. And if the goal is lifelong, then the plan must also be lifelong, not just for a finite number of years. That doesn't even span 2 full decades. We can create, what sustainable plan can we create, scribe, or construct as a community in order to have more sports inclusion, more activity, more movement, and more fun for ladies, girls, adults, all ages and stages, as well as physical ability levels. This is what I believe to be true diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how it shows up in more ways than one. We suggest a plan that includes an adult wellness initiative for LA 2028 out of the monetary surplus endowment that Summer Games 34 Olympiad brings similar to what was done with LA '84. Thank you, and any questions, I do have some other proposed activities listed on the agenda you can take a look at, as well as some key dates to note. And that's it, so.
The question is, what is it you're asking of us, or you're just educating us?
Educating, support, asking, this is a community-based initiative, so it's not just about me, it's not just about, this is myself.
So this is an initiative that is on the floor from where?
From myself, for Hip Hop Education Project, it's something that I came up with.
Okay.
I've been working on with a few community members for a couple of years, trying to work out some kinks. We have put together a small proposal that we at some point would like to present here, as well as all the way to LA City Council. But right now, just asking questions, see what some types of things that you would like to see and include, any feedback, and so on and so forth.
So, Tiffany had her hand raised.
Oh, Tiffany, I'm sorry.
And I would just like to say thank you very much, Cheryl. That was an excellent presentation. I appreciate you sharing that with the board.
Tiffany,
Thank you.
You don't want to discuss that before I do a public comment? You don't want to give her
Is
feedback?
your comment on this or on something else?
I'm asking you, are you going to give her feedback before you come to the public?
Well,
No, she's made the presentation and we're thanking her for the presentation. She said there'll be more for the future.
Right, and,
So
yeah,
and Tiffany, because you had your hand up and because I promised that you could speak as soon as she finished, you get to go first. We are fully participatory here. So some of us might have questions, but if you have a question,
Okay.
that was my promise.
So thank you, and I will say that when Show asked a question, I intended to do a thumbs up and ended up with my hand up. But I will say that it's important to do a clear ask, and that Show, someone asked you what you are asking, and I still don't think you made a clear ask. And so I just want to just full communications, being able to repeat back what we heard, right? So I just, for clarity, are you asking for ideas for a LA 24 using or whatever it is, LA 28 using the funds from LA 84 that were not used? Is there still money there? Do you know how much is there?
I am pointing out what LA 84 or endowment is and was, and hoping that LA 28 can have a similar plan, but adding the component and initiative to that piece. So taking it first.
So you're proposing, so you're proposing something similar, but better.
Yes. Going the long haul. For those who were born in 84, who turned 40 this year, they were cut off 22 years ago.
40, you're a baby.
Okay, I understand. So are you hoping to get like money for funding for a project?
Yes, it would be the surplus of the funds will go to an adult wellness initiative component type thing, so that people like me who are athletes when we were younger don't have to give up being athletic and end up being diabetic and subjected to all of the environmental harms that we are already subjected to. There's money everywhere.
Can you tell me the surplus you're talking about? You're talking about from 1984?
Yeah, the surplus for that LA got was 93 million, I believe.
93, okay, yeah, I do remember that number.
all right, we're going to cut this. Thank you, Tiffany. Show already said she is going to further refine this and bring it back. So stay tuned. Grace, did you have a question?
Well, it was just the fact that I think the last few Olympics haven't actually had surpluses and have had negatives, and that's why LA 28 is a big concern to the city. So I don't see the big surplus that you are thinking might occur. I'm worried about the downside.
Okay. And Laura?
Well, I was going to say representatives from LA 28 have been visiting neighborhood councils in Slang over the last year or so. So perhaps we should ask them to come to UNNC.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And Paula, and maybe if Tiffany has more questions, she can put them in the chat, and then Show can respond to her later.
Yes. Did you hear that, Tiffany? Yes. Put any other questions you have in the chat.
Also, Tiffany, the handout that Show shared is in the agenda packet. So if you go to the agenda, you can find this in the agenda packet.
All right, thank you, Show.
Thank you for listening.
You got out there, all right. And that was well presented, but we are going to need a little more finite, if you're looking for funds, exactly what, a little bit more specific details.
What the ask is.
Yeah, so we
If
will.
there's an ask.
Yeah. So we will get to that. All right, we've got to move on to outreach committee requesting $3,500 funding request. Up to 3,500? Who's making that? Is that you?
Since I've been gone, I would ask my colleague to present.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Dolores.
Nothing like,
Yeah,
on the spot.
if you could pull that up, Laura.
Which
So,
one, but which one? The spreadsheet maybe?
Yeah, sure, pull, the spreadsheet is good. So, Dolores met with outreach, including Ed, me, Michael Kimbrough, a couple other people, Sarah, Ron Henry, and we came up with some ideas for things that may help the neighborhood council promote itself and encourage participation from the community. We got some estimates, and one was for a canopy, including the frame. We used to at some point, many years ago, there was a canopy. Have no idea where it is now, but we used a local vendor, Print Depot, and a canopy with our logo on all four sides, including the frame, is $850. We could use it at some events, even if they have the frames, like Ciclavia, the frame's already there, but we can bring our actual canopy and install it on top. And then other events where there isn't, we could have our canopy. Michael Kimbrough liked the idea of a flag. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but they're a tall pole, it's kind of a half moon or a half oval shape, and it would have our logo on it, and that's an easy pop-up to bring when you can't actually have a canopy. Also from Print Depot for $145. Sarah Long is doing an excellent job working on a trifold brochure that has, did you want to join in now, Michael, or did you want to?
I just wanted to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I muted? I'm not muted?
No, you're
Okay.
good.
I just wanted to make sure, we did talk about a drop down of our map. Is that included in that?
Did you give that to us?
We talked about it, but I don't know, you guys had a meeting I wasn't able to attend. So I'm not sure what transpired in my absence.
These are the items that the committee voted on.
We're asking for more money so we can do everything.
So we're not sure if it included that?
If you don't see it here, I don't remember that.
No, Michael, it was not included. I sent an email out to the committee members. If you had any estimates on anything, to submit them to either myself or Teresa, and this is what we got.
I missed that. I'm sorry. I did miss that, but I know we had talked about the idea of some type of flap that dropped down as part of the tent that did show our footprint of the UNC.
As part of the design of how we're gonna actually.
Right. And I wasn't sure if that was included in the price you're quoting or not.
We can always revisit it in our.
That's fine. Okay, I just didn't want to lose track of it.
Yeah, that was.
All right, Teresa, go ahead.
Yes, please continue.
And so Sarah Longton is working on a great brochure that will have a map of our boundaries. It will have some other information about the neighborhood council. That's still in the design process. We looked into some T-shirts with our logo, or our new logo.
Polo shirts.
Some polo shirts, yes, some polo shirts with our logo. We estimated 17, but we will base it on the actual number of board members we have at the time. And then there was the grocery tote. This came back with some controversy because the estimate we have is for polypropylene bags, and some people said that that might not be the best thing because that is a form of plastic and we need to be more environmentally conscious. So we're gonna look back. Sarah didn't like the idea of cotton bags, so we want to get some kind of tote, but we are unsure of what. I think you said you didn't like cotton because it deteriorates too soon.
No, I like cotton, I don't like the plastic that you were trying.
So anyway, we want to get some kind of tote too, but it won't be plastic. So I'm not quite sure, but overall, our current budget is $2,800, and we're requesting up to $3,500 to get these items for our outreach committee. There's a If you could stop sharing. Our supply cabinet in storage is depleted of any and everything that we would pass out when we have our outreach events. And we've had new board members that don't have T-shirts. We have old members that don't have a T-shirt. So we thought that we would get some new ones, especially since we had a new logo.
There's a comment. So is there a motion? Oh,
We have
yes, comments?
Vote Tang?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just chatting with Candace, but I do have a quick question. One, what is the outreach objective? I was curious about, and then I'm curious about council, like what's your goal?
What was the question? What is that?
Was the outreach objective, and they said to promote UNNC and to encourage participation in your neighborhood council.
Like, is your goal
in your neighborhood, in your community?
But is the goal, like, for example, me and my roommates and more people who are living in the zone to show up? Like, is the goal to get more people to know about voting? Or like, just, I'm only saying that just to be a bit more specific on like, that's an overall, because I'm hearing outreach, but I'm thinking, what do they mean by that? Like, just to know that there's a neighborhood.
He's saying that he's hearing outreach, but he's not sure of the specific objectives. But the only objective on this item is to approve funding for these specific things.
It might be helpful to, if you want to explain like what outreach does.
What your committee does, yeah, overall.
Yes,
And will you say your name?
Dolores speaking.
Thank you.
And one of the policies of Department of Neighborhood Empowerment is to do outreach in the community to let our stakeholders know who we are, what we're about, and what we do. And to do that, we have to go to various events that are sponsored by our stakeholders and our businesses. And even we put on events, and we have these T-shirts, right, to get people's attention. We have brochures that we pass out that explain who we are and what we do. And then, of course, people always want a little swag to put something in a bag. And so we also pass out reusable bags that have our logo on it that also gives the attention to who we are and what we do, would draw them to go to our website and read more about what the neighborhood council is and how we came about and why we're here and what we do.
Got it. Thank you.
Sandra?
When it comes to the bags, are they going to be like a canvas tote bag? Will we get to see a copy of it?
It hasn't been decided. They're still working on it.
But they have a price for it already.
No, they have a price for everything.
Not for the canvas bags. We're looking at some other bags because we go to events that are outside, sometimes outside of our footprint, and then there are some that more than not is inside of our footprint. And if we were to purchase those canvas bags, it would be within our footprint. So then if we go to an event like the Taste of Soul, we don't want to pass out our canvas bags because they're too expensive. So that's why we're looking at a less expensive bag as a giveaway.
Got it. Thank you, Dolores.
Tiffany. You have a question? Your hand is up, Tiffany?
She just
Hi there. I heard you mention, I have an idea for your outreach. And I heard you mention Tori. Were you talking about Tori Bailey?
Yes, she's our homeless liaison.
Okay, so I want to remind you all of the homeless count that's coming up on the 25th, right over at Home and United Methodist Church. And I just want to say that this is a great opportunity to have on a t-shirt, because this is the area, and all of these people that are coming to volunteer are also people who might be interested in joining your meeting.
Yes.
So that's just the idea I had. And then if you have something in your hand
And
to give them.
UNC participates in the homeless count every year.
Yes.
No, I'm sure you do, but the topic was outreach.
Yes.
And so imagine if you all who are participating would be wearing your neighborhood council t-shirt that you're talking about.
Yes.
And then I heard you saying like wanting to be able to give something to somebody. This is what people like. So
Yes.
have something to hand them, even if you can just get some t-shirts made in 2 weeks and be able to give them a pen or something like that and invite
Yes.
them to your meeting. It's a great way for people that you know are interested and involved.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move on now.
Wait.
Is there another question?
I'd like to make a motion that,
Yes, okay.
governing board approve up to $3,500 for us to purchase, outreach, materials.
Yes.
I said,
Ed seconds, it's been moved and seconded, we're gonna call for the vote.
Right. Any discussion?
I have one discussion. I know we've had a canopy and stuff, we have no track record as to what something, I mean, we have storage to put our things in, I'm just.
It disappeared after I left the
No,
board.
Yeah.
it was shredded.
Shredded.
Jeff, it didn't disappear.
Okay.
Jeff Camp has the shreds, but I don't think he used them.
Does he have the frame, because we could just buy
Oh,
a
I
new
don't.
canvas cover for the.
Oh,
See?
I think there's it got broken. When I say shredded, it like
Okay.
collapsed.
Okay.
We had it for,
Yeah, it's old.
Okay.
we had it for more than 10 years. It broke.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're calling this
Yeah.
vote.
thank you for.
And what percentage of the remaining budget is devoted to up to
Outreach.
3,500?
So,
No, the percentage of what remains.
so remember when we do our administrative packet, as Candace mentioned, we had 3 pockets, and one of them was outreach, already had funds allocated.
Yeah.
We only used $500 for some printing materials.
So how much
We had
would remain?
56.
So we talked about moving some money around in there, because, for example, there's a newsletter
That we haven't done.
that we haven't done, and so we're taking that budget is $2,400. And so, as we talked about it, here, that we would reallocate that money for newsletters to just get more outreach stuff.
But
So
it's still in
it's
the
still within
same
the
pocket.
outreach.
And again,
category.
numerically, just how much?
54,
Yeah,
How much?
56 total for
Yeah.
outreach.
56, up to 3,500, so.
right,
Okay.
right.
Calling for the vote.
Dolores,
Dolores.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Hunter,
Say it louder, please.
Hunter, sorry.
Yes.
Candace,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes, ma'am.
Michael Soderstrom,
yes.
Edward,
Yes.
I am a yes, Paula,
Yes.
Grace,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Chris Carlson, Christopher,
Yes.
and Mark. Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on, planning and zoning.
Well, aren't we lucky? Nothing.
Yes. All right.
Dance.
Already been mentioned, homeless liaison
Right.
committee. There is a 2024 homeless count Thursday, January the 25th.
There
Is there any further comment on this?
Yeah, there's an update that I just want to share with the board, which
Okay.
is, we voted to spend $500 to provide refreshments
Right.
for the volunteers. I still don't have a invoice that actually shows $500 for the chili. It's now showing $550. Started out at $750, and it's now at $550. My question for y'all is, not should we skip it, but should we skip the vendor and very quickly just trying to do Subway or something like that, where we can take the UNC credit card and just purchase refreshments? I mean, in other words, I feel bad, but I just can't seem to get.
Where was this chili coming from?
Some dude.
The same vendor that we had last year.
Yeah, but we didn't pay, I think Greg ended up paying for it out of his pocket. I don't really know what exactly happened, but it's showing us $10 a person for 50 people, but the site has 75 volunteers plus some of us support, and our budget is 500. So we cannot be spending $10 a person, that would be excessive anyway,
right, Alfonso?
I was about to say, you should reach out to your funding rep.
Yes, but I don't have even a thing to talk to her about. So my question for you all, because the actual vote we took wasn't this guy, Chili. Is it okay if we just pursue with our funding clerk whatever we can do to provide refreshments?
Well, what does Tori suggest?
She's not being responsive.
I think as cold as it is, or at least it was last year, but chili's perfect.
Chili is perfect, but chili from a guy who can't get me an invoice and who wants,
Okay, well, we can.
Well, I think we
gives a
need
credit card.
I think we probably need to notify the vendor that if he can't provide the invoice per.
And now, and at this point, a credit, and at this point, a credit card.
Can I finish? If he cannot provide the invoice that is required by our, required that we're going to move on to someone else. I think at least he needs to be notified.
And who is this? That would be Tori?
No, I think we're gonna have to go around and just do it direct.
Direct to the vendor.
Okay, and who's we?
I don't know.
We's probably me, because I'll have to turn it in.
Okay.
And so what we would need then, now that I know the things that we need, whenever you turn in something like that, you need invoice, you need an EIN, you have to put in their vendor information, it's detailed. And if any of that is missing, gets kicked right back.
Right.
And the
And so
PTRC,
The safe something certificate,
Yep.
that they're legal to prepare food.
Right, which is why I'm sort of wondering if we could get chili from Surface, they make chili, and see if they'll do our budget. Do we
That's what I'm
take a
saying,
credit
just, we
on-
can still do chili, but doesn't have to be him.
Right. Gourmet chili, that ain't real chili.
Oh,
Well, let's, all right. This is the homeless town.
we got 2 weeks, folks, we're not gonna
Yeah.
get a check to a vendor in 2 weeks, that's the
Oh.
other issue. They need to be able to take a credit card, and not on PayPal, it has to be, they can take the credit card, I mean, it's really complicated.
Okay.
I have not previously participated. How does one sign up? How does it work? How does the whole thing?
Okay,
I don't know
well,
anything.
we'll put you in touch with Tori.
Well, no. Here's how you sign up for the homeless count. You go to theycountwillyou.org.
Did you say THEY?
THEY, theycountwillyou.org.
Is that you, Y-O-U?
I'll put it in the chat.
Can you put it in the
/
chat, please?
Yes.
I'm about to.
/ West Adams. And that should take you to the specific site that is within our UNNC footprint, and the one we're trying to find chili for, at Holman Church, you know, on West Adams Boulevard. But it's theycount.org, and it should be / West Adams. And if that doesn't work, you go to theycountwillyou.org and put in the zip code 90018.
Okay.
And sign up. I mean, you don't have to sign up with us. You don't have to sign up for Thursday.
You can just show up.
Well, no, I mean, you can sign up for Tuesday, wherever it is, or Thursday near your work. I mean, in other words, this is the site we're supporting. That's-
Okay, we're moving on.
Crack that good.
Public safety, emergency preparedness. Is there anyone here to speak on that?
Yes, I'm happy to finally say, after nearly 6 months of this, we have a date. February 6th is the first Wednesday of the month. Then it will be the first Wednesday of each month, except for July, which will be the second because it's 4th of July.
Okay, so it's Wednesdays now, not Tuesdays?
Yes, it's Wednesday. And the first one is February 6th at 7 PM here in this office, in the same location.
So February through July, but July will be the week after.
Right.
And this is what emergency preparedness presentations?
It is, it's the training. It's training light. It isn't as intense, it's not as long, but it's to get us to have a better understanding. So you're prepared for the earthquake that we all felt on January 1st. And you're like, a reminder, you need to be prepared. So come join us. The firefighters, the CERT guys, they're all gonna be there to give this wonderful presentation for us. And when you come to at least 3 of those 6, you can finally get the hand crank flashlight and radio that has forever to obtain, that has lovely UNNC property logo on it.
That earthquake, when I was on my fruit.
Yes. It was just like a loop, and it was gone. Any other committee reports?
But no, we do have, we don't have 16 people.
Yeah, so I might as well just keep going.
Okay, keep
Okay. Any old business discussion?
Yes, just to update, we have a long-standing annual landscape inspection that happens at the Murphy oil site. The downhill area has all been landscaped.
I'm sorry,
And it's a
Chris,
green belt.
can you say your name and why you're
Chris
recording
Carlson
this?
speaking.
And you are the
This
co-chair of
the oil committee. And so just an update, normally that happens right at the end of the year. We had an arranged time with Heather Hutt's office. It got, they confirmed that they knew of the appointment. It got right down to the day of. They weren't responding to any emails or texts. And at 10 o'clock, since we didn't hear them by 10, we sent a text saying, because we've not heard from you that you're going to meet us there, we're not going to have the inspection. So we got to reschedule the landscape. And the CD10 office is part and parcel required with us to produce this landscape review as part of the conditions on the site. So to be continued, but to date, we were not able to execute the planned appointment. And we'll try to reschedule the CD10.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. 8:37. I tried to make it easier.
These texts, Chinese.
They fixed it.
Oh, yes, there's.
It's in the chat? Yeah, they continue. Okay, so I just.
And February 1st, Dolores. King February.